I am absolutely obsessed with this green soup. I'm gonna give you the foolproof base recipe, and you can add things that you want to add if you want to add stuff. This is a low-calorie soup. It's full of greens. I love to have this with bread and butter, with sandwiches. Bread is a theme here. If you're anti-bread, I don't know what to do for you. I'm gonna run through what we need for the green soup. I'll be using the rest of this. No gram or weight measurements today. We're going by vibe, okay? And that's normally how I cook. I've been telling you. This is a vibe recipe, okay? So we have an onion. I believe these are habanero peppers. I got these at the farmer's market in the summer. It's now not summer, so these have been frozen in the bag in my freezer. So what I normally do with soups, especially if I want just a little bit of spice, a little bit of flavor, I throw this in whole as the soup is boiling, and then I take it out before I blend the soup if it's a blended soup. If I don't mind it being super spicy, I will blend it up along with it, or I will chop it and then add it. You can do it as you wish. I haven't seen a lot of people using that method of just putting the whole pepper in there. So yeah, so we're gonna be using that. It feels weird calling it a technique. The technique is literally dropping it in the, but you know what I mean. Anyway, we're gonna be using that technique this time. Now we're going for anything green that's in the kitchen, right? So the base of this for me has been spinach and kale. If there are other greens that you enjoy, that you like the flavor of, together, go ahead and do that. So for me, I'm using chopped spinach and kale. Happens to be organic. This is a huge bag from BJ's Wholesale. This is what we're using today, and we're going to use as much as our heart desires. I'm also using today some celery. So I'll probably just use three things of celery. The theme of this channel is using up what you have first, making sure that you're meeting your goals, blah, 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 right? So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna use the rest of this little bag of edamame that I've been avoiding for possibly months. It's probably freezer burn, but listen, freezer burn never hurt nobody. Why is everyone against freezer burn? And that's a genuine question. Like, please, like, I mean, I understand that like the texture gets all messed up or whatever it is, but especially if you're just gonna like throw it in a soup or blend it up, like truly what is the issue with freezer burn? Is that saying something that I should be paying attention to? Like, is the food ruined now? Because it's frozen. Like, I don't think it's gone bad. There's no like bacteria growing, right? Help me out here. It's shelled edamame. I recently learned there's another, well, I didn't learn, I found out there's another word for shelled edamame in Japanese. I forgot it. I'll put it here. Dear future self, please Google it so I don't look stupid saying this whole thing. You know what? It's actually not freezer burn. I mean, what even is freezer burn anyway? We're adding a little bit more carbohydrates and we're adding a little bit more protein to it when we add the edamame. And flavor. Edamame is delicious. It's also going to make it a little bit more creamy than it otherwise would be, a little bit thicker because it's a bean, right? I'm bringing this up to say that you do not need to add edamame or any other type of bean if you don't want to. This is a green soup. This happens to be a green bean. That's what we're doing here. You understand, you're getting the method here. And obviously you want to add a little bit of broth. If you are a low sodium person, you don't need to add broth. There are actually a lot of low sodium broths out there, and certainly you can make your own no sodium broth. So the one that I'm using is the vegetarian no chicken broth. This brand, come sponsor me, honestly, because we love it. In any case, the no chicken broth is vegan. It has the vegan label somewhere on there. There she is. Wow, anytime you see that little thing, for my friends who are not vegan, that just means that it has no animal products. So if you're experimenting with that, or if you have friends that you're cooking for, that's something quick. There's always some version of that label on vegan things, or if it's, you know what we like to say, accidentally vegan, it might not have that, but if you see that, that's a quick like, okay, I don't have to look at all the ingredients, right? Which we love, because I mean, we'll look at the ingredients anyway, because vegans were We're that type. We are that type. We've been burned before. There are two specific brands. Here's the thing, if you're vegan, there are two specific brands that you have to come home and double check again. And if you know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna let you name them and put them in the comments. Okay, let's actually get to cooking. Oh, actually, if you are a no salt, no oil person, obviously this is not necessary, right? You can make this same soup by steaming with a little bit of water, right? And cooking down the vegetables that way. If you're not like a processed person, but you're okay with oil, I would recommend high heat oil like avocado oil. Well, it doesn't really matter. You're just sauteing some onions or whatever. So if you're okay with oil, use whatever oil that you already have that you prefer. A little bit of that goes a long way. But for me, I like my flavors, so I'm gonna try sauteing my stuff with this time. All right, let's go. Exactly the level of browning that we need. Anything more than that, it might start discoloring your soup if you're concerned with that. But this right here is perfect. All right, we're gonna start, before it browns anymore, we're gonna start adding a little bit of, we don't need more oil, we just need a little bit of water. I use about maybe a tablespoon of minced garlic. Pre-minced because we ain't got time for this. All right, let's be real here. We're gonna add another tablespoon. Come on now. Okay, about this much bouillon. I like stirring it in just because when I'm pouring in the water, it makes it easier to not try to figure out where the clumps are at, you know. I'm just gonna throw in the edamame, and now we're adding the greens. You notice I'm putting everything in before the water because once you have everything in, then you can have a better idea of how much water you need. It's just basic soup stuff. Basic soup stuff. Now we're going in with our water. I have my little gooseneck kettle here. And my fellow Americans, if you don't have a kettle, an electric kettle, for all your tea and hot water needs, I don't know what to tell you. All right, the beauty here is that this is already boiling water. I don't have to wait for this to start boiling. We're good to go. Okay, so I've poured up to the level of the solid things in there. At this point, we let everything heat up and boil. If you're doing this as meal prep and not something that you're gonna eat immediately, you can just blend this up right now. Nothing here needs to be cooked, right? We only cooked down the onion and the celery because those really did need to be broken down before we blended it. But everything else, I mean, nothing else is needed here, all right? What I'm gonna do though is I am gonna put in this pepper here, right? So we're gonna put in that pepper. Let's let some of that flavor marinate. There we go. The smell of the pepper is the only thing I smell right now. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I'll be honest here, I'm gonna leave this in. I'm gonna leave that right in. That's delicious. Okay. Now this one might need a little bit more water. The consistency right now is telling me that it'll probably be pretty thick, but I think we'll be good to go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn that off and we're gonna start blending. Make sure that the fire is off. I don't know why, but I would suggest that. It takes a while to get this thing going, but once you do, okay. For this one, I'm gonna put a little bit more water in. Just to, let's, keep this moving. All right, this is getting real smooth. This is the consistency that we're at. Let's taste it, but I think I'm gonna put a little bit more water in there just to get a little bit more smooth. Ooh, that's spicy. Y'all, that was one pepper. Ooh, that might have been a mistake. That was one pepper, y'all. We're going in with just a little bit more broth now. All right. So that's enough for me. I'm good good to go on this. If you want it any more smooth, you're gonna have to use a high-speed blender. I do like a little bit of texture still left in it. And then if I want a thinner soup on one day, then I can put more liquid. A meal prep hack is to make it as little liquid as possible, actually even less than this if you can get it blended up enough for yourself. And then as you're getting ready to eat, pour out whatever portion you need in a bowl and then maybe add some more water or broth to kind of fill out to whatever consistency that you like. This is what we got going on here. A little bit of lemon juice gonna go ahead and help this out right here. Listen, again, convenience, people, convenience. I put in a little bit of lemon juice in there. That's probably what, a tablespoon on there. That's probably gonna be half a lemon maybe, and we'll see what it does. We'll see what it does. Might be a little bit more, or squeezing some on as I serve it. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Oh, delicious. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Yeah, definitely add the lemon. That's amazing. A brief interlude here. Actually, hold on, let me hydrate. I put a little note on the previous video. This is not an anti-sugar channel. You could come here with that energy, that's totally fine. I won't engage with that. This is not an anti-sugar channel. This is not an anti-carb channel. This is not an anti-food group channel. This is not this, that, and the third channel. It's just not. If that is your ministry, if that's your journey, I love that for you. Do what you need to do. And I truly, like, I'm not saying that sarcastically. I know it's coming off that way because that's just how I sound. But honestly and truthfully, I love whatever food decisions that you're making that you are just trying out, that you want to experiment with and see if that works for you for whatever reason. Who am I? I don't know you. Who am I? Right? I know the information that I found that's backed by science that works for the majority of people, that's okay for like public health recommendations, and that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna pair that with my own ethics and justice and what, you know, whatever. That's what I'm gonna do. What I have access to and my region and my taste buds and my socioeconomic status and all of that sort of stuff, like all of this is coming together to show you what I'm showing you. But am I gonna tell you you're wrong for not eating this or that or whatever? I'm gonna say it sassily. It's fine. There's no offense. I'm not making fun of you. This is not an anti-specific foods and food groups channel, except avocados. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna change everything I just said. Don't come here giving me avocados. I know that I already said my family's Haitian. I get it. Avocados are great, whatever. I used to eat them all the time. These days, I can't tolerate it. I don't care. And honestly, if there is another restaurant that has the only vegan option be an avocado toast that they then put eggs on and cheese on a brioche bun, miss me with that. I'm so over avocados and avocado toast. I am. Comment who hurt you if you got this far in the video. Okay, bye.